Alright, welcome back to my channel guys, and this is episode 5 on how to fly the Boeing 737-800. In this video we will be learning how to do the ILS or the Instrument Landing System Precision Approach, a VOR LOC only, so the non-precision ILS approach, and a manual hand fly approach. All these approaches are ranked in decreasing order of automation, so more towards VFR rules, and increasing order of RVR, the runway visual range, how much you can see the runway, and MDA, the minimum decision altitude, the altitude where you must be able to see the runway before going around. But before that, I have some bad news. Our fictional ATC has just informed us of some traffic separation concerns due to busy airspace, which is very normal in real life. So we are told to hold at goal C. You can see here we are about 2.7 miles nautical miles away from goal C. So to enter a hold at goal C, go to the hold page and select goal C on the scratch pad and put it here. You can also adjust the inbound course and the type of turn. I selected 155 degrees inbound with left hand turns and a leg segment of 5 nautical miles. Now you see we are in the hold and we are still using the complete automation provided by the autopilot and the FMC. So while we are on the hold, it's a good opportunity to explain you the VOR and ILS approaches. Again, if you don't want to go through the explanation and you want to skip it, that's perfectly alright. You can use the time chapters below and skip ahead. So VOR stands for Very High Frequency Omnidirectional Radio. It sends radio waves in all directions. That's what the Omni stands for. This is how it looks in real life, and there can be many types of VOR, with or without DME, distance measuring equipment. Here the second one does not have one. To intercept and fly towards one, you need a CDI or course deviation indicator. It shows the lateral deviation, to and from indications, and it also includes an OBS omni bearing selector. This is the same course selector you saw on the MCP panel earlier. So if DME is available, you will get the slant distance, that is the hypotenuse of a triangle. So even if you're directly above the beacon, your DME will equal to your altitude. So you'll never get a 0, well of course, unless you crash into it. As we get closer to the VOR, the CDI gets more sensitive. Let's take an example. If we fly due north towards a VOR, we set a bearing first using the OBS knob. Recall that a VOR has 360 radials. So this case it'll be 0 degrees. After selecting our radial, if we fly towards it, we get a to indication, and if we fly away from it, we get a from indication. If we fly left, we'll get a deflection of the needle to the right, and vice versa. Simple as that. There's one more important concept I want to explain. Let's take another example, this time flying due east, but we are offset to the left, and we have a deflection of the needle to the right. That makes sense. The problem is that if we add 180 degrees to our OBS bearing, it'll actually give you the same line, the same radial. Everything is same but reversed. If we try to correct this by flying to the left, we will make it worse. So instead, we need to fly the opposite and fly right to correct it. The VOR beacon doesn't know which way you are facing. In its eyes, you're just a dot. This is called reverse sensing. To make sure you avoid reverse sensing, always put in the correct intercept course heading and check your DME if present and try to see if everything makes sense. So now, if you replace the VOR with a runway, the only difference, well, is that the extended runway centerline is the only valid radial. So it's no longer omnidirectional like a VOR, and it's a much narrower beam used for approaches. This is exactly what we'll use to give ourselves the lateral guidance for our aircraft. And in the first approach we'll also have the vertical guidance from the glide slope. So this is the ILS system, and let's go back to our hold and exit out of it like this. Make sure to recheck your legs, and let's start an approach. Before you engage the APP approach mode, make sure you tune in the ILS frequency in the radios. There are many ways you can do that. Down here you can turn these knobs. In my case it's 108.1 MHz. You can also directly set it from the explain map. Make sure you highlight the correct runway from the IFR low end route. As you can see, my course selector is also set 156 degrees. That's the runway course for the localizer. You can also use the FMC to change the radios from the nav radio page. And now let's turn it on. For a successful glide slope capture, please remember you always have to fly into it from below. The autopilot will never dive down on its own in glide slope mode. As you can see in the flight mode annunciator, we have captured the localizer, and we just got the glide slope captured as well. The two purple diamonds on the bottom and right will guide you to the optimum rate of descent and the correct lateral approach. If you're too high, set the speed brake and vertical speed mode if necessary. Worst case, you have to do an orbit or go around. I'll start reducing my speed, put my flaps and landing gear down to configure for landing. Things happening very fast, and towards the end I will take manual control as is the norm. Please enjoy. Disconnect your autopilot, and at the very last second just reduce your engine power to idle or retard for a softer landing. Then apply your wheel brakes, speed brakes and reverse thrust if necessary.
30, 20, 10.
Release your brakes and turn off your engine reverse and put your flaps up. As soon as you get off the runway, turn off your landing lights and just keep the taxi light if it's night. Now, if you don't have the vertical guidance, let's say airport is servicing its glide slope or the glide slope is unavailable, you do a VOR LOC only approach. So that's just the second button here. You don't press the approach button, you just press the VOR LOC button. So in this button, you can use the VOR navigation display. You can see we are perfectly aligned. Let the aircraft take care of your lateral component, but the vertical component, you have to take care of that. So either you can set a vertical speed right here, And the other option is to do a step down approach. That's just basically following a series of steps at certain DMEs from the runway. So at DME 7, let's say you have to be at 2000 feet and you can do a step down approach without the help of glide slope. So I'm going to just quickly go through that as well. More. Keep the flaps. A bit of air brakes. Put the auto brakes. The more the automation, the better you can land in foggy condition.
500.
I think I'm gonna take control right there, it's fine.
400. 40. 30. 20. 10.
So last but not least, I'll show you how to do the manual approach. There is no autopilot, nothing is on right now. So this is completely hand flying the aircraft. So what I'm doing is actually looking at the 4 lights on either side of the runway, and I'm trying to match 2 reds and 2 whites on the PAPI or the precision approach path indicator lights. And you can see we start very high in the 3 nautical approach in Explain 12. So what I did immediately was to extend the speed brakes and try to get down as fast as possible.
500. 400.
And at times you can see that I get too low and I get 3 reds and 1 white. So the glide slope warning comes up.
Light slope.
So I try to increase the power and pitch up to get back on the glide slope. And finally I land with 2 reds and 2 whites.
40. 30. 20. 10.
The remaining of the procedure remains the same, applying brakes after landing and toggling the thrust reversers. To shut down your aircraft, it's pretty much the opposite of episode 2. We start by cutting off the fuel supply to cut off. Then we turn off the fuel pumps, the generators, the hydraulics, all the lights, yaw damper, and the batteries. Let me just turn off the exterior lights as well. Bleeds off. And the last battery. So that's it guys, thank you so much if you have watched all 5 episodes of the series. I do hope that you liked it, and let me know if you want me to make similar series or videos in the future. Thank you for watching and looking forward to seeing you in the next series.